Welcome to Friday Deep Stretch. We're gonna have some soft 70s rock today for our playlist, so I'm really excited. We're celebrating a milestone. This is Katie. Make sure you listen to your bodies. Keep some water nearby. If it's uncomfortable, leave it out or ask for an adaptation. Let's get our bodies moving a little bit, nice and warm, so we can get into a deeper stretch. We're gonna start with some nice double arm swings. So I'm gonna have you take both arms up overhead, and I just want you to swing them down by your hips and back behind you. And we'll just repeat that movement, kind of waving the arms up and swinging them back. You can take a nice big inhale as you reach up and exhale, kind of as you throw the arms down. I like to add a little pop in my knees if you'd like. Good, and last one. Let's get both arms back down by our sides. We're gonna do some nice big shoulder rolls. So I just want you to leave your arms down by your sides, let them be loose. We're gonna roll our shoulders, shrug them up towards our ears, pull them back behind us, down to the floor, and push them in front of us. Nice big shoulder rolls, kind of feeling all that musculature surrounding the shoulders. Move and mobilize. And let's switch the direction of those shoulder rolls. Still overemphasizing that big shrug. Taking those big breaths. And let's go ahead and pause those shoulder rolls, staying in that neutral standing position, feet under hips, toes forward. Let's go into our stir the pot. So I'm gonna have you put your hands on your hips. We're gonna push the hips forward, roll them over to the right side, back behind us and around to the left. So kind of stirring our hips clockwise, keeping our feet firmly planted to the floor. A great slow movement. You can feel all that musculature around your hips starting to warm up. Feeling our bottoms of our feet warming up. And let's switch directions, counterclockwise, stirring the pot. You can stir soup or coffee or tea. And go ahead and finish that circle you're on. We'll come back to center and we're gonna do some hamstring scoops next. So I'll have you step your right foot out in front of you, heel down, toes up to the sky. We'll take both hands and trace them along that front right leg, down towards our foot, feeling a nice stretch along the back side of the leg. And we'll raise ourselves back up to standing. Place the right foot back underneath the hip and switch, stepping the left foot out in front of us and tracing the hands along that left leg till you get as far as you can and come back up to standing. And if this exercise is tough on your balance, try to step that foot a little wider out to the side, so more at a diagonal. Give yourself a wider base foundation to stand on. Go ahead and continue to repeat hamstring scoops. Try to take that inhale as you raise yourself up to standing and exhale as you reach down your leg. And go ahead and finish the rep you're on. Bring yourself back to upright, neutral standing position. And let's do some of our sun salutations before we get into our deeper stretch. So from that neutral standing position, let's take a big inhale as we reach our arms out wide to the sides and up overhead, reaching as high as we can. And we're going to exhale into a forward fold, reaching both hands down towards our feet or the floor. We're going to do a half lift next. So I'll have you take both hands to your shins. Inhale as you flatten your back out. Exhale all the way back into that forward fold, reaching the hands down, letting your head and neck hang. And then let's inhale as we raise ourselves all the way back up to that upright standing and reaching position. We'll bring our hands, our palms together over our head, and we'll exhale as we lower them into our chest. And let's repeat. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift.
Emilia's iPhone left.
Exhale, full forward fold. And let's inhale all the way back, out and up. Palms together. Exhale and lower. Last one here. Inhale. Reaching wide, reaching high. Wiggle the fingers. Exhale, fold. Let your head, neck, and shoulders just hang. Inhale for that half lift. Exhale, full fold. And let's inhale all the way back, out and up, overhead, reaching. Palms together and lower as we exhale. Beautiful. Now that we're nice and warmed up, let's get a little deeper into our flow, into our stretching. I want you to start by taking a nice wide stance. So stepping your feet out 1 to 2 steps outside of your hips. Now that we're in this wide standing position, I'm going to have you slightly bend both knees until you're in that quarter squat position. And we're going to do some of our Cossack rocks. So I just want you to shift your weight over into that right leg, straightening the left leg out, feeling that inner thigh stretch. And then we'll shift our weight over into our left leg, straightening the right leg. And just do a nice slow rock left to right. You can also use a chair or a wall here if you want a little extra support. You can even reach your hands to the floor if you have that flexibility. And let's go ahead and raise ourselves back up to standing. We can step the feet back together underneath our hips. And we're going to do a cross-legged forward fold. So from this neutral standing position, I'm going to have you step your right foot behind your left, kind of crossing your legs at the knees. And then I'll just gently have you lean forward, taking your hands towards the floor. We can also just do a standard forward fold here if you need to keep that neutral standing position. This gets a little deeper into that IT band, that iliotibial band. And take a few breaths here. And let's step that right foot back underneath the hip if we did our cross-legged forward fold. And we'll switch to the other side, stepping left foot behind right, crossing the legs at the knee. Take a nice big inhale as you're standing up and exhale as you reach your hands down towards the floor for that cross-legged forward fold. Just let your shoulders, head, and neck hang, be loose. And on your next breath, go ahead and bring that left foot back underneath the hip. You can slowly raise yourself back up to standing. Let's go into some standing side bends next. So from this neutral standing position, I'm going to have you start with both hands on your hips. I'm going to have you reach your right arm overhead from the shoulder. And we're going to reach that right arm over to the left as we gently push our hips over to the right. Standing side bend, keeping our chest and nose to 12 o'clock. Then we'll bring that right hand, we'll come back to center, right hand to right hip, and we'll switch sides. Left hand overhead from the shoulder, reaching over to the right as we gently push our hips to the left. Just go ahead and repeat nice and slow, alternating between those two side bends. Try to take a big exhale as you reach overhead. Do just a couple more breaths here. And let's let both arms fall back down by our sides. We're in that standing position. We're going to do a chest opening stretch. If you'd like to modify it and do a humble warrior stretch, feel free. So we'll start, if you're doing that normal standard chest opener, I'm going to have you interlace your fingers behind your back. And then I want you to pull your chest up towards the ceiling, pull your shoulders back behind you, and take your nose to the ceiling. Just opening up the chest. Feel free to add a little movement in your neck if you'd like. Maybe going side to side with your neck. Up and down, nodding your head yes. Shaking your head no. We're going to sit here for about a minute. We really want to open up the chest, as a lot of those muscles get really tense and tight throughout the day. Let's take 2 more deep breaths. And go ahead and release that chest opener stretch. And let's gently lower our hands down towards the floor. So now our feet are planted and our hands are planted. I'm going to have you walk your feet back. So we're in that down dog stretch. Hands are planted. We're taking our hips up towards the ceiling. And we want to kind of try to push our heels down into the floor if we can to get that calf stretch. If that's not feeling very good, try to pedal one heel down at a time. Whatever heel you push down, your opposite knee will bend. And if this is tough on your shoulders, go ahead and drop to your forearms, keeping your hips as high as you can for a dolphin stretch. And on your next breath, go ahead and drop your knees to the floor. And if you are on your forearms, go ahead and come up to your hands. So now we're in that tabletop position. And let's do some of our cat-cow stretches to just keep that hip mobility in check. We'll have you start in the cow. So we will arch our back, tilt our pelvis up to the ceiling. Let our chest drop to the floor and take our nose to the ceiling. And then we're going to exhale as we round our back, push the hips forward, and kind of push our shoulders away from our palms in that cat stretch. And let's just alternate between those two, cat and cow, remembering to keep the breathing involved. Exhale when you're in cat, inhale when you're in cow. Taking these nice and slow, just feeling how much our pelvis can shift and tilt. And go ahead and finish the rep you're on and come back to center with your back nice and flat. We're going to do a calf stretch next. So I'll have you extend your right leg back behind you, putting your right toes into the floor, right heel's kind of up towards the ceiling, and just pushing that heel back behind you to stretch the right calf muscles. Kind of imagining someone's tied a rope to your ankle and they're kind of pulling your foot back. You can also drop to your forearms for this one if the wrists are getting tired. And let's bring that right knee back in underneath the hip. And let's switch to the left side, extending the left leg back behind us. Left toes into the floor, heel to the ceiling. And gently pushing that left heel back away from us. Someone's tugging on your ankle. Feeling a nice stretch in the back side of the lower leg, the calf. And let's bring that left knee back in underneath the hip. Let's raise our hands off of the floor. So now we're just in a kneeling position down on the mat. We're going to go into some of our deep lunges next. So I'll have you step your right foot out in front of you. Left knee stays planted underneath your hip. And we'll take our hands to our hips or to an external support source nearby. We're gently going to sink our hips into that front right leg and kind of down towards the floor. Hands can stay on your hips, rest on your thigh, or you can take them down to the floor. Whatever feels good. You want to feel a nice stretch in the front of that left hip. Nice deep lunge stretch. Great for the hip flexors, which are chronically tightened in most of our population. I want you to breathe. Try to exhale. See if you can sink your hips a little deeper. Not forcing anything that is uncomfortable. On your next breath, I want you to start to shift your hips back towards that left leg as you kind of straighten out that right leg in front of you into a runner's lunge or half split stretch. You can take that right foot and turn the heel into the floor, toes up to the ceiling. Your right leg should be almost entirely straight. You can have a slight bend in that knee. This is a great hamstring stretch. If you want to pull the toes towards your shin and point them away, see how that changes your stretch, how intense it gets when you really stretch the hamstring. And let's go ahead and release that runner's lunge. We'll bring the right knee back underneath the hip. And we'll switch sides, stepping that left foot out in front of us now. We're in that kneeling lunge position. And we'll take a nice big inhale. And we'll exhale as we sink the hips down towards the mat and into that forward left leg. Getting a great stretch along the front side of the right hip now. Good, a couple more breaths. And if you can take that big exhale that lets you sink a little deeper. And let's begin to shift our hips back towards that right leg, right knee. We'll extend that left leg out in front of us for a runner's lunge or half split. Left heel's in the floor, left toes are towards the ceiling. Left leg is mostly straight. There might be a slight bend in the knee. That is okay. This can be an intense hamstring stretch, but a good one to practice. And feel free to point the toes and pull the toes towards your shin. Just feel how those muscles might be tense. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and bring that left knee back underneath the hip. We can drop the hands back down to the floor, so we're in that tabletop. And we're going to transition into a child's pose stretch. So I'll have you walk your hands away from your knees as you sit your hips back onto your heels. Child's pose stretch. Really walking those fingertips as far away from your hips as possible to really stretch the lat muscle, latissimus dorsi, or your back. And just take a few breaths here. You can let your forehead rest on the floor, or you can kind of keep it sandwiched between your biceps. And we're going to add a little thread the needle shoulder stretch if you would like. We'll start by taking the right hand and threading it between that left elbow and left knee. reaching it through as far to the left as we can. And just hold it and breathe. And let's bring that right hand back through the arms and extend it out in front of us again. Taking a nice big inhale through the nose. Let's switch, threading the left hand through the right elbow and right knee, reaching it as far right as we can. And on your next breath, let's bring that left hand back in and reach it out in front of us. Wiggle the fingertips as you push yourself up out of that child's pose back to a tabletop. And let's go ahead and lower ourselves all the way down to the floor, however you'd like to do that, coming onto our stomachs, but lying flat. All right, so we've come down to the floor. Our legs are fully extended behind us. We're nice and relaxed. We're gonna show our quads a little bit of love, stretch them out. So you can make a pillow with your hands if you'd like, right over left, left over right. We'll start by bringing that right heel up towards our right glutes. Option to just hold it here, or you can use a yoga strap or even your right hand to reach around, grab your right ankle and pull it a little closer to your backside. Feeling a nice stretch along the front of the right leg. Getting a little bit of feedback, so I'm going to mute. Thank you. And just continue to breathe. See if you can get that right quads to just release themselves. And notice your body. Are your glutes kind of tightening to guard the stretch from happening? Try to release them, relax them. And let's release that right leg. Let it extend long again. And we'll switch over to the left side. Bringing the left heel towards your left glutes or backside. Option to just hold it there or add that manipulation by reaching around with your left hand or a yoga strap to pull the ankle closer to your backside. Nice quad stretch. Continue to breathe, let your body melt. Good. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and release that left leg. And let's just wag the hips out. So just kind of keeping your legs flat, but shifting your hips right to left. Kind of like a happy dog, just wag it out. And when you're ready, let's transition onto our backs for some more deep stretch. So now we've rolled over onto our back sides. We're in that corpse position. So arms are down by our sides, palms facing up. And from here, let's go ahead and bring the right leg up over the hip towards the ceiling. I'll have you take your hands and interlace them on the back of your right leg that's up in the air. And I want you to just gently guide that leg in a nice circle. We'll go clockwise circle and one counterclockwise circle. Keeping the leg as straight as you can. This is another one where if you have a belt or a towel or a yoga strap, you can wrap it around the bottom of your foot and kind of hold onto it with your hands. And let's go ahead and bend the knee. Bring the hands to the front of your right shin and hug that knee in close to the chest. And I just want you to gently take your knee in and outside of your hip. Just kind of gently feeling your femur in your hip socket. And let's bring the left foot flat to the floor, left knee up to the ceiling, setting up for our reclined pigeon or lying figure 4 stretch. I'll have you take your right ankle to the top of your left knee. Let your right knee gently fall out to the side. And you can just stay here if that feels good, if you're getting just the right amount of stretch. Or if you need a little bit more manipulation, you can interlace your fingers on the back of your left thigh and raise your left foot off of the floor, deepening that stretch in the right hip and glutes. And continue to take those nice restorative breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's go ahead and release that reclined pigeon. Let both legs out long again. Back in that corpse position. Let's just take a couple deep breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll take the left leg, raise it up towards the ceiling over the hip, or as far as you can go. Interlacing the hands, fingers along the back side of that left thigh. Keeping the leg as straight as possible. We're drawing that clockwise circle and counterclockwise circle. And let's go ahead and bend at the knee, taking the hands to the shin bone. And we'll bring that knee, hug it in closer and tighter to our chest. And once again, you have the option to kind of add that gentle shifting of the leg inside and outside the hip. Not forcing anything uncomfortable. And also understanding that your body's going to feel different every day, depending on what we do, how we sleep. You might not have as much range as you did last week, and that's okay. And let's go ahead and bring that right foot flat to the floor, right knee to the ceiling. And we'll take the left ankle, place it on the top of the right knee or thigh. Gently let the left knee fall out to the side. Lying figure 4 or reclined pigeon. Option to just use your hands to gently guide that left knee kind of away from your torso. Or if you need a little more manipulation of your stretch, raise the right foot off of the floor. Interlace the fingers on the back of the right leg for a deeper stretch. And breathe. Just allowing yourself to release and relax. And on your next breath, go ahead and release that left leg. And let's bring both knees up into our chest. Meet them with our hands. Give them a big hug. And let's gently just rock left to right. Kind of massage out your lower back. And go ahead and extend your legs back out long with a big exhale. And let's go into a nice full body lying twist. I'll have you raise your right knee up towards your chest. And then we'll gently drop that right knee over to the left side until it meets the floor. I just had a really good back crack. Until it meets the floor or a yoga block or some kind of other surface that you've elevated. And as you do that, I'll have you twist your nose to the right. You can reach your right arm out to the right from your shoulder. And just continue to take those deep breaths. Relax. And on your next breath, let's go ahead and bring that right knee back into center as we roll back onto our backs. Let's release the right leg back out long. Bring the left knee up into our chest and repeat, dropping that left knee down and over to the right side, right. So we meet the floor, and then we'll extend our left arm out from the shoulder and turn our nose to face our left hand. And on your next breath, go ahead and roll yourself back to center. You can extend that left leg back out long, so we're back in that corpse. And we're going to do a reclined butterfly stretch next. So I'll have you bring the bottoms of your feet together. Your torso is still lying on the floor, but the bottoms of your feet are together and your knees are out to the sides, slightly elevated off of the ground, just opening up the hips. I highly recommend you use a yoga block or a pillow if this is really uncomfortable, or you can always extend your legs out longer to kind of lessen the opening of your hips. So finding that comfortable position, reclined butterfly. Just taking a few deep breaths here. This is a great restorative position. Hands can rest on your thighs or on your belly, maybe on your chest. And let's bring the knees up and together. And let's slowly find a way to raise ourselves up to a seated position. We've come to seated. We'll make sure our legs are extended out long in front of us. Hips are planted into the ground. And let's go ahead and bring the right knee up into our chest. And we'll step the right foot over the left knee, kind of hooking that right knee into our chest with the left elbow. It's a Barbie on the beach stretch. I'll gently have you twist your nose to the right. Right hand can kind of rest behind you for a little extra support as you hold the stretch. Really stretching the outer thigh, glutes region here. And let's slowly twist our nose back in front of us. We can release that right leg back out long in front of us. And we'll switch to the other side. Bringing the left knee into our chest, giving it a big hug with both arms. And we'll step the left foot over the right knee, hooking the left knee with the right elbow as we turn our nose to the left. Left hand rests behind our back. Barbie on the beach. Great stretch in the left glutes region, outer thigh region. And on your next breath, let's twist ourselves back to facing forward, releasing the left leg out long in front of us. And let's take our feet out wide, outside of our hips. The legs are straight, but we have a nice wide seated position. And we're going to do a nice wide forward fold. So I'll have you start by inhaling, reaching both arms up as high as you can, like you're reaching for a rope. And then I'll have you exhale, folding forward, taking both hands out in front of you, kind of in the center of your feet. And just continue to breathe. And let's gently walk our fingertips over to our left foot, left ankle, left shin area. Let your hands rest there. Kind of increasing that stretch along the right side of our back. And let's take our fingertips back to the floor and walk them over to the right foot, ankle, or shin. And let them rest there. And let's go ahead and bring the fingertips back to center and slowly roll ourselves upright, one vertebrae at a time, until we come back to that upright seated position. And let's bring the bottoms of our feet together again for a seated butterfly stretch. Bottoms of our feet are together. I'm kind of pulling my heels in towards my torso or my hips. My knees are out to the sides. And we're going to add a little gentle lumbar twist here as well. So I'll have you take your right hand and place it behind your back. Left hand will come to the top of your right knee, And we'll sit up nice and tall, shoulders proud as we turn our shoulders and nose to the right. 2, 3. Those nice big deep breaths in and out. let's release that twist, bringing the left hand back to the feet, right hand back to the feet, nose back to 12. And we'll switch to the other side, waving that left hand back behind us, resting it on the floor. Right hand comes to the top of left knee, gently twisting the chest, shoulders, and nose to the left to 9 o'clock. And let's go ahead and release that twist, coming back to center. And I want you to just find a seated position that's comfortable for you. You can stay in the butterfly if you'd like. You can extend your legs out long. You can go crisscross, whatever feels good. And we're just going to do some nice wrist stretches. So I'll have you raise your right arm out in front of you from the shoulder. And I'll have you take your fingertips up to the ceiling, palm facing away from you. We'll take our left hand and we'll grab those right fingertips and gently pull them towards our face. Still keeping our posture nice and proud, shoulder blades in your back pocket, chest up. And let's fold the fingertips down towards the floor. Palm is now facing us. We can use that left hand to gently hold on to the right one, kind of pull the fingertips closer to us. And let's release that stretch. Wiggle the fingers in the right hand. And we'll switch to the left side. So we'll extend our left arm out in front of us from the left shoulder. Fingertips up to the ceiling, palm facing away from me. Grabbing the left fingertips with the right hand and gently pulling them towards our face. And let's go ahead and switch it, taking fingertips down to the floor. Again, using that right hand to gently hold on to the left and just guide it. Nice deep breaths in. And let's release that left wrist. Wiggle the left fingers. And last but not least, give yourselves a pat on the back. I hope you enjoyed your stretch today. I had lots of fun. Got a little sleepy, but I hope you all have a wonderful weekend.